What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Season 2 of Track Talkers. We're going to get right into it. Twisted Tea smacked the competition. I mean, dude, it's straight up. Both the boys on Star Racing Yamaha, Cooper Webb and Hayden Deegan. Hayden Deegan is 100% back. I think his dad said it best on Instagram. He made a post and said he's back. Hayden Deegan coming from the back anywhere he wants to and getting the job done. And Cooper Webb, once again, an off night for Cooper starting out. Let's dig into this. On press day, he jumps the quad, cases it, goes over the top of the berm, hurts himself, goes into the rig for like 20 minutes, doesn't talk to anybody. Nobody really knows what's going on. Then comes out the next day, doesn't look very good in qualifying, kind of looks notchy because there were so many ruts in the corners at Arlington that the low lines really weren't working and it was all about the high lines. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he didn't look sparky. Plus he's kind of hurt. Then comes out, gets a bad start in the first race, ends up 6th, and somehow manages to smack the competition once again.
And goes 1 in the race 2, and then 1 again in race 3. And to just cap it off, Addy's talking about a sore wrist injury that he encountered.
I heard it was his thumb.
No, he said it was a wrist on his in press conference or interview somewhere. I saw a sore wrist.
Yeah, 6-1-1 was his race results. Still, bad night for Coop, and he still does it. I mean, I don't know what to say. Cooper Webb, you have to respect him, dude. He's putting himself in all the right positions and making all the right decisions right now to be the one looking like that's going to win this championship.
And what did we say last week? He is a shark.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? He is a shark, and he is doing exactly what Cooper Webb does. I don't know who says he's not talented and who says that he doesn't have the speed, but his racecraft is I'm a loss for words because I want to say so much right now.
No.
Because he's just he's so talented at overcoming whatever adversity that's in front of him, and he ends up being on top and in the fight year after year if he doesn't take himself out. And something weird that doesn't happen in Supercross, or that does happen in Supercross, and he kind of just pushes that aside as far as injuries or lap riders or blah, blah, blah. If those things don't happen, he is always in this fight.
I'm going to go on a motherfucking rant right now, dude. You want to know why? I'm sick of all the media talking shit about Cooper Webb how he's so slow, dude.
Tell him.
This is the bottom line. Cooper Webb is fast as fuck, and we're already dropping F-bombs, but you know what Cooper Webb does? Cooper Webb breaks out the speed only when he has to. That is the difference. Cooper Webb is going fast when he has to go fast, and when he doesn't have to go fast, he doesn't bring it up to that notch because he knows that this shit is risky and he's not gonna risk anymore. And Cooper Webb is doing it time and time again. And he smells blood in the water because he's a great white shark, and he capitalizes on the injured tunas, dude. Dude, it's the bottom line. Cooper Webb, he is only fast when he has to be. When is that? At the end of the race when he has to make it happen. Cooper Webb then makes it happen. Look at Cooper Webb in the third race. He's not doing anything crazy. He literally was like, Chase, I don't need to win this. Go. You know what I mean? He's pacing him, and he knows he doesn't really have to do anything, and he lets the odds kind of unfold, right?
Yep.
Cooper Webb was like this. I will take a second in that third race. No problem.
Yeah.
If I don't get the win, cool. I'm right here. This is within my means. But if I stay here and Chase makes a mistake, then guess what? I get to capitalize for free. And I didn't have to do anything extra. And that's why Cooper Webb is there time and time again. He's the diesel. pretty much. You know what I mean? He's the new kind of Ryan Dungey, but with more attitude and a little more speed.
And I would say, I feel like way more mental capacity than, it's going to sound fucked up, but than Ryan Dungey. Meaning like Cooper Webb knows how to play the game. He does not care about anybody else.
Nope.
And he knows exactly what he needs to do and what he needs to elevate himself to do on that race, on that night.
Yeah.
And then whatever falls his way will fall his way, and he's going to take whatever he can get. But if he thinks he can get it, he's going to go out there and get it, but manage the risk while getting it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because that sixth place, like, I guarantee you, like, obviously he wasn't happy with that sixth place, but he went back to the truck, got super pissed, and said, I need to get a start. I need a win, and we'll see what happens. And that's exactly what he did. And he's going to do that and continue doing that, I think, throughout this season. And Chase, bring it back to Chase. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of can of worms, but he's got to learn from Cooper Webb, his competitor, and not give a shit about what he is doing.
Dude,
Chase Sexton.
You know what I want to tell Chase? Like, I want to tell him, but I know he has so many people in his corner telling him stuff right now. But for Chase Sexton, I really think the key is like kind of like what you were talking about. Obviously, we said it last week and people were like, oh, that's obvious. You have to put yourself in an opportunity to win the race, right? That's the obvious.
Yep.
But I think the next big thing is that he has to act like he's alone on the track. He has to stop worrying about being the fastest guy and the best guy, and he has to start going like this. I am going to ride my race, and whatever happens around me, I can't control that. I can't control if Cooper Webb gets a better start than me. I can't control that he gets a worse start than me. All I can control is what I am doing. And I'm going to go around like there's nobody else that I'm racing. I'm going to click off all my laps exactly how I know how to do it. No faster, no slower, no extra effort. I'm just going to do my laps. And then wherever I end up, 2 thumbs up. We live to fight another day. If I'm the best tonight, great. If I'm the worst tonight, great. Doesn't matter. I don't care about any noise outside. I don't care about any other riders. I am just going to do what I do at the practice track and put my 20 or, whatever it was, 12, 15 minutes in, and I'm going to do those laps. And I'm not going to worry about if Cooper Webb's behind me. I'm not going to worry about if Ken Roxon's behind me. I'm not going to change up my lines. I'm not going to do anything. I'm literally just going to ride forward and click off my laps and worry about hitting my marks. If Kenny passes me, cool. If Cooper passes me, cool. I did my laps. I got that shit in. He's so worried about it. This is my opinion, 100%. I could be totally wrong, but from outside looking in, Chase knows he's the fastest guy. He knows it. And he so badly wants to prove it to himself and to everybody out there that he is the best and he should be on the top, that he puts himself in these high pressure situations where he has to push it so hard. And he's showing so much skill where you can't do that, dude. It's too much. He's overriding the bike. He's overriding his setup where it's just like, dude, sometimes you have to take a second. You have to back it down. It's not a big deal, dude. Everybody's going to have their highs and lows. Cooper Webb is going to have some lows. It's just inevitable in the odds, right?
Yep.
Just ride your own race. Go out there. Have Jay Dungey put alone on the pit board. Seriously. And just ride by yourself. Just ride by yourself. If somebody catches you, just imagine they're not even there. Just go ride and do your laps. Don't go any faster or any slower than you're comfortable, because the thing about Chase is he has so much speed inside of him. And he's so strong that if you let him unleash, he will literally override what the ability of that motorcycle is.
Yeah, you're right. 100%.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. That's my opinion. That's my take. Are you agreeing with me?
No. Not at all. I'm just trying to make sure you are wrapped up here.
Okay, go ahead. What's your opinion?
Dude, okay. I'm agreeing with you in a sense, like, if there is a world and Chase has enough mental capacity to do what you're saying, he could definitely win a championship doing that. Like, that is definitely a way to win a championship.
Yeah.
Like, working on just being being like alone on the racetrack, acting like there's no one there. But it's so hard to get to that point when you're in that stadium with 60,000 fans, with 22 other racers on that track, trying to chase you, trying to take you out, with the track developing, with yellow flags, with red cross flags, with yellow lights, with red lights, with mechanics, like with autograph signings, with practices. Like, you know how stressful that whole day is.
I do.
And dude, when you get onto that main event gate, it's so hard to get into that zone of just like, all right, I'm just back in Florida. I'm at the practice track. I'm just going to execute this start, not worry about if anybody's cutting me over. I'm not going to be worried about, like, it's almost an unrealistic situation because you have to brake if that guy breaks in front of you. Like, you're stressed because everybody around you is stressed.
Yeah.
And that's what develops champions, and that's what develops, not champions and not winners. Yeah. Is people that can't handle those situations. That's why there's superior athletes, and that's why there's good athletes. Yeah. That's why there's legends and, professionals.
It's really messed up, but
and we're seeing a breaking point right in front of our eyes. Like, when I was watching the race this past weekend, I was like, this can either go one or two ways. Okay. One, Chase learns from it and becomes better from it, or he just immerses himself in the negativity, never going to figure it out, and it just eats him alive and just continue making these mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, my opinion, okay, and I've said this before about Chase, is that he's got to figure out how to not lose the race.
Yeah, but that's
like, dude, stalling his bike. You're not doing that if you're out on the practice track. I guarantee you he's probably never stalled his motorcycle out at Florida.
Probably not.
I could probably guarantee he's never done that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the last lap where you don't even need, we're three corners away from holding the red plate and getting a 3-point lead over Cooper Webb, and you decide to triple into the corner and wash your front end out and then crash.
Yeah.
My dude, like, how old is he? 24, 26?
I don't know. We can look it up, though.
Like, he needs to check his ego and see the bigger picture, because right now he's not seeing the bigger picture, because Cooper Webb is focused on the bigger picture.
I agree.
And Chase is focusing on one race at a time, and he's thinking like this is his last race ever that he's going to race. And he needs to start thinking about the whole picture.
Yep. Agreed. 100%.
So I hope he can just figure it out, because, dude, for himself and his future and him stamping his like Hall of Fame status and his legend status, he needs to win this championship.
Yeah.
Period.
You know what was really interesting though? I was sitting there and everybody, Chase after the race, he was like shaking, sitting behind the berm by himself for like a couple minutes.
Yep.
And everybody's like, is he crying? He's frustrated. I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe it. They're all like bummed and everybody's distraught. And, all the cameras are in his face, which is pretty gnarly. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of his face.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's their job.
Yep.
But you know what I was thinking?
What?
I was like literally in my mind, I was like rubbing my hands together, smiling, because you know what happens to somebody when they get to their breaking point like Chase just did?
Light at the end of the tunnel?
Change. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And as much as Chase didn't want that to happen, maybe that's, exactly what he needed.
I also have
you just get to this point where you're breaking, and what you're doing is you're finally figuring out that isn't working.
So I have a theory, and I want to run it by you.
Hit me.
Okay. So I'm going to mend kind of what we're seeing Deegan about, right?
Okay.
I'm going to kind of jump back and forth a little bit because the reference, this is for Chase in my theory of like why he's making mistakes and what I've seen just racing this past weekend, racing throughout the season, right?
Yeah.
So we know I need to know a little bit more facts. So I'm jumping to a few conclusions right now. So this is just a theory right now.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Sexton, I believe, practices a lot on his own at the Baker factory in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So he's got his speed, he's probably got his lap times. I don't know how he's structured, but you're riding at a comfortable pace. Yes, it is absolutely ripping, and it's probably main event winning pace.
Yeah.
Because he's motherfucking Chase Sexton,
Yep.
practicing in Florida at his home track, what's not rough, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. But with that being said, he sometimes, like, race 1 this past weekend, he got passed by Justin Hill. And then he was like, I could kind of see, it wasn't showing a lot on TV, but he passed him back pretty quickly. But in that moment, it kind of reminded me of you, when me and you kind of raced, where like I would pass you and then you'd be like, oh no, I need to step it up. If he's passing me, I need to step it up. And then you just elevate yourself to that better level and pass me back because you just had that, that confidence of, I know I should beat him. So I'm going slower no matter how I feel. I'm going slow right now. So I need to pick it up to pass AKA Justin Hill for Chase Sexton. Yep. So in that moment, I could tell like he was uncomfortable, but he saw the jersey on the back say Justin Hill, and he's like, oh, fuck, what the heck is going on right now? I need to freaking pin it. Yeah. And he pinned it and forced himself to get past Justin Hill. Yep. Right?
Yep.
So now I'm going to go to Deegan. He just, Hayden Deegan switched his program up. He said he needed more intensity.
Yeah, so he left Christian Craig.
Well, he didn't leave Christian Craig. Christian Craig is still in his corner, but Christian Craig is still working with the whole entire Star Racing team. That's what I saw in Lewis Phillips interview, Vital MX, blah, blah, on press day.
No.
That's what he said.
This is the story. This is a story that I know.
Okay.
Christian Craig and him were working together.
Mm-hmm.
He felt like he lost the intensity.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we're good friends. Him and Christian Craig are still homies.
Yep.
But I want to go back to Swan and Pool. So he went back to the Swan and Pool program, and he is now riding at Star because he thought he was missing the intensity.
Yep.
But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that Christian Craig is training on the daily.
Okay. Regardless of my point.
Yep.
He went back to Swan and Pool and the farm to ride with everybody to get the intensity back during the week.
Yes.
To simulate more of a racing environment so he's ready to race on the weekends.
Yep.
Even that, as superior athlete and superior talent on that dirt bike, Hayden Deegan needed to have that intensity during the week so he's comfortable on Saturday racing the main event in whatever stadium he is at.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And Hayden knew that and made that change quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I don't think that Chase knows how much that is actually affecting him, not riding with the Baker factory guys and not having that little bit of stress of like, God damn, Malcolm's ripping today or Aaron Plessinger's ripping today. Like, I don't want to ride with those guys because they're going to be on me and I'm going to have to push it on that uncomfortable level. Like if Chase Sexton, if you push yourself to a Chase Sexton uncomfortable level, that's a level that Cooper Webb, Ken Roxon, Jet Lawrence, Eli Tomac is going to push you to.
Yeah.
To win main events. And he's not getting there during the week. And that's why I think we're seeing this stall, this little, wash the front end here and there if you look at Chase closely, because he's just not riding with that 0.5% or that 1% more during the week that he should be.
Yeah, and he's not used to it.
Yes, he can do it, and he's 100% capable of doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of stress and intensity when you're worried about another guy and you still got to focus on what you are doing in front of you. It's a different level of focus.
Yes.
Than riding by yourself.
I agree. And I think, we're piling it on Chase right now.
It's just the story of the week.
I know, and I'm going to pile it on a little bit more. I think, I truly believe, too, the pressure of him knowing that he's the best and he's not getting it done week in and week out is huge. Because the nights that I know, and this is totally different, but the nights that I qualified inside the main event and didn't make the main were way worse than the nights I didn't qualify in the main, didn't qualify inside the top 22 and didn't make the main. And to know that he qualifies and he's the fastest guy and he should be number one and he's not getting it done and he knows the potential's there, but he can't close the deal. That's a whole nother panel of stress, a whole nother weight that's on his back that he's trying to deal with too. Not to mention that he got the ride that Cooper Webb had, and now Chase is like the guy over at KTM, and there's that dynamic a little bit too, and they're not really worried about that, but it's there. They've thought about it. I know Roger and Ian Harrison have probably thought about it.
Everybody wants to win the Monster Energy Supercross Championship, period. Straight up.
Well, speaking of the Monster Energy Supercross Championship, you know who we need to get on the line right now?
Our SMX insider?
Our official SMX insider, Micheal Antonovich, track talkers, freaking journalist, Micheal Antonovich. What is up?
What's up, boys? How are we?
We're doing good, dude. What do we want to get into first? Do we want to talk about, we were just talking about the Cooper Webb Chase thing. I definitely want to touch on like the Juju Beaumer situation. What do you want to get into first, Anton?
Let's talk about Cooper Chase because I just rewatched all 450 races and I got a lot of mind after that because, man, Cooper's bike's incredible. I were texting about that a little, talking back and forth, but man, the way that it is able to get speed, like these big bursts of speed in transitions between certain jumps and then coming out of the pocket and some, like Coop's got that thing fire right now. And I think that's a big credit to Gilly having a bigger role at Star. Yeah. They're really honing in on 450 right now. And it looks great. There was one earlier this year, I rewatched San Diego weeks ago, and Eli's confident in the bike and just what he was able to do on that. He was pushing it. He'll push it through every jump, and even if he clipped a landing in a rhythm, it was still settled. Like everything looked great. And Coop still looks like he's got the same, like, the way to describe it is it's a quick look bike. Like you can tell that the suspension gets back, needs to go really quick, that the chassis and everything all tight and nice and in sync with each other. Looks like the power delivery really uniform. Like everything is just working together the way that it needs to. And, that's a big staple or a big asset for Cooper. It's one thing he doesn't have to worry about. Whereas at Chase, and you're wondering how much they're changing, like ride to ride from the session, So I think something to keep in mind as this goes forward on these East Coast tracks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Cooper's bike looks really good, but one of the big things that I've noticed about Cooper's bike and talked about with some other people is Cooper doesn't make a lot of changes. So that's really on Star, and I think all their data that they have between the 250 guys, between Eli Tomac, Justin Cooper, everybody's bike and the data that they have on that bike and having the specific people around him is what is making that bike so good. And I think another thing on top of it is that he's confident in the bike.
And I just want to add something. I just love just realizing and looking back on, bro. And I think all of us can agree on. We are talking like this because Chase Sexton washed his front end three corners away from the finish line, and he would have won. We wouldn't have been talking about this. It would have been totally flip script.
I am so glad you said that because I rewatched 3, and from 7 minutes to go till 2 minutes to go, if they threw the checkered flag with 2 minutes to go, we are not talking about any of this stuff. It is talking about how he came through the pack, how he dominated everything, how his blazing was, the aggressive moves he made on Jason, on Kenny, on fighting Cooper off. Look at how dominant of a ride that was. He just took all the energy and all the momentum and threw it his way. And that's the risk. That is if that's what it's going to take, show Cooper, hey, I'm better than you. I have to put you in your place and show you you're not going to beat me. I'll come in on the last lap, just like you always do. Caught up to him. I thought the same things that everybody else has in the last 24 hours. Oh my God, how could you just let that away? Why would you push it when you don't have to? But because you have to change the momentum of that. If you see the opportunity that's there, we'll be saying a completely different tune. Agree with you completely, Ty.
You know what I'm saying? If we're the king of bench racing on this show, I'm saying if Chase Sexton gets through that corner, through that lapper, and right on Cooper Webb's rear wheel, he's sending it fifth gear wide open through the whoop section and taking Cooper Webb high and winning the race.
Yeah, but dude, here's the problem. Here's the issue. What is the other thing that we've learned in our racing career?
Hold on. I talked about this last week. It was last week when he hit the gate. There's only a certain amount of times you can go through the pack and pass that many people and not have any problems in Supercross. One round later, he was passing a whole bunch of people and trying to cut through and slice and dice through the pack again, and look at what happened. Crashed on the last lap and he's fifth.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, dude. If you look at that crash that he did with Coop, that wasn't the lapper's fault.
It was dude. It was the lapper's fault for
sure. Dude, it wasn't though. I watched it 20 times. He comes in, he jumps in, he catches the little edge of that rut, I think, and then his front end slides for a second, hooks up, pops him up, and then he grabs the back of Cooper Webb's wheel, falls over the top, lapper runs him over.
You know what's the funniest thing is? I could say if the lapper wasn't there, Chase Sexton would have jumped a little bit higher on the berm where he would have had more traction and cut down and passed freaking Cooper Webb down that straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about what ifs and all that stuff, but like I just said a second ago, what have we learned in our career? There's two things. The results don't have any explanation of what happened on the race. There's the result, and that's it.
Yep.
And once you get about 10 rounds later, nobody can really remember what happened that night.
No.
They just look at the results and they go, oh, yep, there's Chase. He got third. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was lucky enough to get third overall.
That's what I mean. It could have been potentially a lot worse. You either get it done or you don't get it done.
Yep.
And he knows that too. I think to say that.
Okay, I mean, we're beating a dead horse right now. I want to ask Micheal Antonovich, what's up with JuJus Injuries? I heard he popped his shoulder out. Do we have any more information? Is he good to go coming into the East-West shootout? Is it
Indianapolis?
Yeah, Indianapolis, not Minneapolis.
Yeah, Indy.
Indy.
Yeah. Said to Aaron Hansel that he'll be getting an MRI this week. And, he did it on the second lap of practice qualifying 2. So last session of the day, that moment, you can even see as you look at the lap sheet that there's a big gap. Like he misses 2 seconds and he has a 2-minute lap time on lap 2. So if you rewatch that crash, you can totally see how that'd be a shoulder damage crash because going really fast, hit the tough block, stop, and then the bar just straight up and down. So all of that energy, you're just going to get twisted, and it's the perfect thing to jam it and shake it and have it angle. I didn't remember the medics tending too much, and there's not that big of a break. Like if it was out of place and he was scrambling, he gets right back on track within a minute, and then he starts off a 48-second lap time. So he's high on adrenaline after that. I like what he said to Aaron, Racer X interview, and then what he said to Lewis Phillips, that he's there to race the championship, that it does not matter that he's hurt.
Yeah.
He took a lot of responsibility for that. He said that he didn't ride the way that he needed to, that he didn't execute. Up until that last practice, when it happened, him and Hayden had been going tit for tat all day. So there had a lap time battle to watch again. He had a couple moments. And there was the talk of, him going to Florida and learning how to ride some softer conditions and coming to that with a setup and then having to make bike changes. So I definitely just had an eventful day. If that's the worst that comes of it, that, you have an injury that you can manage, that you think you can grit out, and you're still big picture on the championship, definitely tell that the people around him have instilled, you better be there. Like we're not backing down on this one. You're going racing. You need racing. You only have this opportunity. Let's go do it right now.
Nice.
Yep.
So, I think probably lay low. I mean, he's got some time, and I would think that the week before Indy, so 2 weeks from now, we will see a lot more riding, but no sense to push it this week if you know that you just dinged your shoulder.
Definitely not. What else we got on the plate, Mike?
The one thing about, not to keep beating the Chase thing over and over and over again, but there was that talk of why would you go for the win on the last lap? And I know that he doesn't look at Jade's pit board that often, but even on the last, as he's coming to get the white flag, Jade looks pretty encouraging of, go win that race. It says yes on it. I think if anything, everybody is thinking Chase needs to go win that race. There is not some big picture idea of, take a second now. They wanted to win that. They knew how important that would be. And then how fired up Jade after Barsha and Chase got together in the last turn for, fifth place, like not a position that matters a lot to either, but just a little bit of salt in the wound. So you have to wonder how the mood was at the Baker's Factory today. Although Barsha and Chase don't train together per se, I mean, you're still on the same piece of property together on the same tent and all that.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, I was talking about a theory that I had earlier about like Chase not riding with all the guys at Baker Factory. Do they as far as what I know, they don't put a lot of laps together, right? They may like warm up together as far as like breaking the track, but Chase is kind of on their own program as far as we know, right?
From what I've gathered, I asked RJ and Tom this, and so Tom is on the same program as Chase. RJ's on the Alden program, and I asked at Tampa because that's a defending champion against a defending champion. You're on the same equipment. You're at the same place. That there's a lap time battle that's been going on all year. So I'm sure that there's some familiarity with each other, but I don't think it's like, hey, we're going to do gate drops together. Like one group on, one group will get off. I'm sure there's some times that they do ride a little bit, but it doesn't seem like everybody's doing Alden running the stopwatch, dropping the gate for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I kind of assumed. Sweet.
Yeah. I mean, anything else you got for us, Mike?
I was trying to think, just as the weekend went on, I went and watched that Aaron Plessinger event at Lowe's cool. PBR bar on Friday. That was cool. Just how AP interacts with everybody, and he does a great job of it. Red Bull always does a job to make a bar into a family-friendly event, see all the people that showed up. How many little kids have mullets that have to be inspired by AP? The amount of people that just excited to see Aaron, and it's people of all ages, from little kids to like teachers, girls in their 20s and 30s, their boyfriends, their husbands, everybody loves AP.
Yeah. And
then watching Julian through that, I'm wrong on this, but did you boys ever watch Entourage?
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
he reminds me of Vinny Chase. Like, I get big Vincent Chase vibes from Juju right now. I'm just like, yo, dog, he is a little star in the making. There it
Yeah.
is.
Totally.
So
Yes.
just watching him through over the past couple weeks, the walk-in fits, all of that, he's definitely getting some swag to him, and that's cool. I'm excited to hear your guys' interview with you because I like Joe. I think Joe's got a lot of personality to him, especially the last little bit. And Joe's cool because he's got a lot of culture. You know, when he goes to like the Paris Supercross, goes to the art museums and goes to the restaurants and rides the subway just to go see what's out there. And I think like a lot of personality in the 250 kids that's starting to shine through, which is sick.
Yeah, it is. The Joe Shimoda interview is going to come up in a little bit. We're going to play that. But yeah, it was solid. Joe's a super cool guy, and yeah, he's super gnarly. You know, I know the Japanese culture that he comes from is strict and they're gnarly people, but Joe is a straight up savage, especially after you listen to how he dealt with his hand and like what he did and like what his emotions were with it. You know, it's just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, okay, Joe. Yeah, no, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, it's a cool interview. And, yeah, he got a little looser towards the end. So it was cool.
Nice.
It was fun. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, going back to AP, I just think that that's one of those guys on Team KTM that is really needed, you know, because right now you have Chase Sexton that is Mr. down in the dumps, which is understandable. It's not like it's like not a thing, right? But AP has not had the greatest season. It is what it is.
Yeah.
He's struggling with something, whether it's the bike or with his program or whatever, because we know AP's faster than what he's putting down on the track. He definitely looked better this weekend in Dallas, I thought. Like, he rode quite a bit better. But, dude, it doesn't matter for AP. You know, his personality is stoked 24/7. You know, bad, good, whatever, it's stoked 24/7. And that's something like we talked about a little bit, Anton, is like, I hope that rubs off on Juju a little bit.
And I think that's the hope of everybody at KTM right now, is that he picks up on that and sees you can make a whole career, like, yes, be fast and have all of that. Real spice and the real extra of everything is when the fans want you to do good too. Like, you can be just as fast as you want. Everybody is willing you to another level. That gets you a lot more negotiating power on everything, on every contract comes up, on every autograph appearance, what you do and don't want to do. Like, you need people to like you and to get a first, because the thing about APs that makes it so impressive is that it's genuine. If you really step back and watch it, it's like a marketing precision plan. Everybody loves him. It's genuine. He has all different levels of everybody there, merch to go with it. The right merchandise too, DBK merchandise, SMX merchandise. You can buy it fucking everywhere. Like, he has all bases covered. And it's not like there's some big agency, you know, multi-million-dollar group with a think tank behind them trying to put that together. That's just his friends like, hey, you want to do this? Let's do this. This looks cool.
Yep. And
two things that we had talked about too, not to like hot topics.
let's hop it.
Justin Cooper. I mean, I'm pretty close to that program this year. And so to see how that went on Saturday was great. To see him lead the laps that he did and just how feisty he was. I mean, look at the lap times from the first race. He's ripping. And then to give it to Kenny the way that he did, not really take anything, want to go bar to bar with Chase in race 2 and even kind of force Chase into a mistake. Like, he held his line. Chase was trying to make something happen that didn't need to happen yet.
Yeah.
And J. Coop did really, really well. I mean, look at the results going into race 3. He's on the podium and he has the overall win at one point in time. Like,
hey,
that's
hold
incredible.
on.
Jay Coop's results were 2-3-6.
Hey, can we talk about something real quick?
Yep.
And I want to get, because I was thinking about this, okay? Because literally Justin Cooper has been like first place speed everywhere but the whoops. Do we think that's going to be, are we thinking that these are indicators for maybe a Daytona Supercross win? Like, are we thinking that he's that good? Like, what are our predictions for Justin Cooper
Dude.
in Daytona next week?
Okay, let me break it down for you. Okay. Jay Coop is going to win Daytona if he wakes up that morning in a good mood thinking he can win. I don't know what the fuck that kid's deal is, because one weekend he's fast as shit and he's the fastest guy. Like, I mean, blistering fast. This weekend in Arlington, Jay Coop is out front, and I don't know the difference between Tomac speed and Jay Coop speed. The whole first moto, Jay Coop is laying down the laps, and he's going 4 out of the whoops, and it's no big deal. It's like, this is how it is for Jay Coop. If he can fucking get through the whoops and he's not petrified of them and he knows he can kind of pull it off, then he can wrap his head around maybe being a good rider.
Give me a position. Where does he place in Daytona? Predict.
4th. Same spot.
Fourth. I was going to say 4th.
Same spot, bro.
Because there's so many heavy hitters that are looking at Daytona as like, yo, I have to do this. And that have the fit. Jacob said that race 1, Kenny got him because he needed a breather lap. And there are no breather laps in the 450 class.
You know what? That was only 12 minutes?
Okay, I also want to just make you guys realize this too. So, I'm pretty sure, I haven't checked the facts on this, but Cooper Webb said,
hell yeah, we love that shit.
Hey, he's never won Daytona. Chase has never won Daytona. Ken Roxon's never won Daytona. So we have those 3 guys who have never won Daytona Supercross. And I don't know if Jason Anderson
So what are you trying to say? Justin Cooper's going to win and they're still not going to all win Daytona?
I think it's a possibility.
Bro, I 100% believe it. Jay Coop is one of those guys that's going to be like Malcolm, where on any weird-ass weekend, he's just going to pull his head out of his ass and he's going to smoke these fools.
Justin Cooper, I agree with you. Like, if he woke up that morning and he practices and he feels good on that bike,
just in the whoops. I don't care about any other place in the track. If Justin Cooper wakes up and he can do the whoops at Daytona fast AF and his segment time is like top 5,
we know
he's going to win.
We know, I know Dirtworks is building track, but we know the whoops at Daytona are not a major factor.
Bro, unless they build them with that light tan shit.
I mean, yes, but still, they're only building 9 whoops, and we have a minute and 15 lap time.
Dude, we don't even know if that rule's implemented anymore. They've done fucking 3 different things this season, okay? We don't know. All I know is if he wakes up and he can fucking get through the whoops in Daytona, watch out.
I'm putting Justin Cooper 1 through 3, not 4th. I'm saying he's either on the podium or winning.
Me. Mofo, you set this up.
Third.
Pick a spot.
Third.
Oh, now he's third? I thought he was going to win.
I'm giving room for Chase Sexton to have a revenge tour at Daytona.
Dude, oh no, mark my words on the show, Chase Sexton wins Daytona.
You want to bet $20?
I'll bet 100.
All right.
I'll put $100. Who's your guy?
Everybody else.
No. You got to pick a guy.
How confident are you, dog?
You got to pick a guy.
No.
Okay, how about this? We'll do this. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I'll put $100 on Chase.
All right.
But if anybody else wins, you owe me 200.
What?
Yep.
How does that work?
Because your odds are way better because you got everybody else. So if I win, I get $100, or if I win, I get 200. If you win, you get 100.
No.
What do you mean?
Bro, I am not getting hustled.
Anton.
God.
Look, I had a very public outburst this year at the SMX Media Days in regards to sports betting on Supercross.
Oh, that's right. We're not even allowed to bet, are we?
Yeah, so I'm out. I'm out on all this.
Okay, bro bet. You're still not in.
If we can't bet, I'll bet you.
Okay, how about $5?
No, I'll bet you push-ups.
Nope, I don't do push-ups. I'm
You're
out on that.
weak.
$5.
Weak.
$5.
100 push-ups.
$5.
100 push-ups. I'll do
All
them
right.
on the show.
All right, 100 push-ups.
All right.
Nobody's watching that. We'll do it on Instagram. 100 push-ups.
All right, sounds good.
All right, done. Chase
I
wins.
get everybody else.
You have to do 200 push-ups.
No.
If I lose, I'll do 100.
Okay.
Done. That's the deal. Wow, I love it. That escalated quickly. Freaking Anton.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love it.
Adam, this is something that I text you today.
Yep.
And this is something that people like you'd have to look back at the history of it. And this is just like, we talk about how good Cooper has been at AT&T Stadium, and this weekend was no different.
Yeah.
But if you look at some of the most important moments of his 450 career, they've all happened within a couple square feet of each other. Him passing Kenny and getting that 2019 win, the closest finish up in history to that point, and really deciding the momentum of the championship after that. That happens almost exactly like the pass gets initiated where Chase went down this weekend, which is a couple feet over from where Jet crashed last year and gave him the win, which is a couple feet over from where he crashed onto the pavement in, in 20 and was hurt. And then luckily had the COVID break and some time to get healthy, and then came into Salt Lake City and was fired up.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think how many things in Cooper's career have happened. Literally, the three of us could be standing there playing catch and not have to throw a ball very far from each of them, and know how much money he's won or lost in those spots is insane. I just thought that was something about this weekend. Just, you see AT&T Stadium and you just see how good he is there. And you're just like, damn, dude, one place that it just keeps going on and on and on. Yep. The other thing, which was just the big thing in the weekend for me, was my guy Chase Curtis getting hurt. Thanks to everybody that's donated to his GoFundMe, because he's got a long road to recovery back on this right now. The doctor has told him that he's going to need to stay in Texas for at least 2 weeks so they can monitor the incisions and everything that they made to put his leg back together. Compartment syndrome is a really big concern right now. And as everybody knows in moto, if you have compartment syndrome, it could be everything. So that's just one more little factor in Chase having to rehabilitate a leg that's already been put together after an accident before. The break is right where all the old hardware was. They had to do a pretty gnarly surgery yesterday to put it back together. So, just thanks to everybody that's taking care of Chase on Saturday and made sure that we were able to get him to the hospital. I've never had to go through that. I see you guys get hurt sometimes. I see riders get hurt, all the time. And I've never had to think about what does a mechanic, or what does a team manager, a wife, a girlfriend, a dad, what do you guys feel when you have to watch someone you love get put on the cart? They're in excruciating pain. Broke my heart to see Chase get hit with the fentanyl shot because of how bad it was, when we were in the ambulance together. And then to have to go through all the processes to find out where all of his stuff is, to chase the ambulance to the hospital, to let the nurses know what his medical history is. I've never had to go through that before. And to know that there are racers that go through that stuff every single weekend. When I was pulling up to the hospital on Saturday night, literally as I'm parking the car, I see Jordan Smith get put on the backboard. And as I'm talking to the receptionist up front, I'm like, well, you're going to have another guy coming here pretty soon. So, it's fucking crazy. And I felt so bad for his wife, Katie, at that point in time, because they have their daughter there with them. And then you have to think, how am I getting my guy back home, and all the stuff I have to do. So, just a big, tip of the visor to all the people that go through that every single weekend. And also a massive thank you to the people that are on the floor from the Alpine Stars Medical Unit. Doc Bodner, John Starling was at Chase's side before he even hit the ground. So the people that are there every weekend, when you are in a tough position, it's really, really, really reassuring to look around and see people that care about you, making sure that you're getting the best care possible. And it's really comforting. So thanks to those guys for that. And thanks to everybody that's helped Chase's financial cause right now.
Mike, where can they go to kind of help out and donate?
So there's a GoFundMe. So, if you look up Chase's name, like Chase Curtis or Don Maeda on GoFundMe, but realistically, the easiest way is just go to Don's Instagram. There's links on all of that stuff, and then you can hit it from there.
We'll try to put a link
Michael
up
Lindsay,
on the bottom.
Yeah, and Michael Lindsay also has a post on Vital MX about it too, so you can hit the link through there. So just a lot of people that are looking after one another, because that is everybody on the floor's greatest fear, is getting hit by a bike completely out of your hands. If you see the video, it's on Don's Instagram. 1 second sooner or 1 second later, Chase walks up or walks away. He either sees Henry Miller's bike go flying off the backside of the berm and hit the starting gate structure in front of him, or he just hears a bike on the panic rev behind him, and he's just like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
But he just happened to be walking right there when it happened.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it's unavoidable, unfortunately. We race Supercross and it's dangerous, and when you're on the side of the track taking photos, you got to be as aware as you can, and everybody does a great job of that, and there's a lot of safety protocols, but you just can't avoid everything, and prayers definitely go out to Chase and his family, and we'll put up the link so that you guys can donate, and we'll definitely keep them in our thoughts.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thank you, boys. I appreciate everything, and I'm excited to be a guest more often on Track Talkers because this is killing it. I love this podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Mike. We appreciate you being our SMX insider and getting us all the info. That's
not a registered trademark.
Oh, it is. It is registered trademark.
Okay.
SMX insider for Track Talkers. So yeah, we're dialed, and we're glad to have you on the team, and stoked to move forward.
All right. Thanks, boys. I'll talk to you soon.
Heck yeah. Sounds good.
Later.
Peace.
See ya.
Supercross.
Supercross on and off the track. Craziness happens all the time.
Yep. We got that link for Chase below. And
Chase Curtis.
Yep. Chase Curtis. We'll get that dialed. Moving on.
Can we get to 250s now, bro?
Yeah, we're going straight to 250s. We're going straight to 250s. Stan Benson Racing. Bro, if you're in Bakersfield, you need to hook up on ETS fuel, Pirelli tires, Stan Benson Racing.
Bro, did you watch? Hold on one second. The promo, Slade Varola.
Yep. Still not
Whole
right.
shot.
Yep.
The LCQ, bro.
Yeah, ends up 6th, though.
That's fine.
Yep.
This is his rookie season.
Yep.
Whole shots.
Yep.
If you need parts, where do they go, Adam?
Stan Benson Racing, baby.
Where at?
Bakersfield. Come on. All right. Well, we do have some breaking news for Stan Benson Racing.
Oh.
Harry Kullas
Let's go.
is going to be racing 450 for Daytona.
Ah, let's go. What do you think he does?
I think he does better than the 250. Period.
I think he will do a lot better than the 250.
Yes, definitely. I think the 450 suits him. I think that coming into Supercross and doing the 250 and doing something different is very, very difficult to do, especially when you don't get to ride Supercross as much, and how he flew over and just kind of hopped on the bike and tried to get it done.
He was a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as preparation.
Yep, and I think that Daytona is going to suit him really well, and I think he'll do good. Yeah, let's get right into it with the 250 class. Hayden Deegan's an animal. Cody Shock, dude. If you guys haven't seen that interview I did after the race, wow, dude is all time.
Dude, how about just the laps he was leading?
I can't even count how many because it was so many with all those fucking hole shots.
And then battling and just riding his own race, letting Jordan Smith do what Jordan Smith does, unfortunately.
Bro,
and
Jordan's
just getting
been
it done.
doing so good this
Dude,
year.
it bummed me out so bad. Do you think we're gonna wrap it around to Cody Shock again because he just raced phenomenal, but let's just talk about Jordan Smith for a second right now. Do you think those yellow flags kind of messed him up a little bit?
1,000%. Oh, yeah. For sure.
Kind of took his attention away a little bit.
Yes, there's no question with how sketchy those whoops were that one split second of the yellow flag and the rider down to the left and breaking that focus just for that little second. Peace.
And that's just like, how we were just talking about like seconds difference? Like if he would have literally hung onto the bike, one more whoop, he could have just landed on that last whoop and rolled out and would have been completely fine.
I mean, he was a few whoops away from the last whoop, but still.
I mean, his body got body checked by a whoop. And if it was on the last one, he would have been fine. But that's just motocross and supercross for you. It's a matter of seconds. It's a matter of feet.
And
either if you're going to make it or not make it.
And we talked about it. It does not matter who you are. It doesn't care if you're in the lead for the championship. It doesn't care if you're winning the race. It doesn't matter if you're the best guy in the world. The shit still comes up and bites you.
Yep. But you know what is a guarantee for every single night?
Hayden Deegan.
Someone's gonna cross the checkered flag first.
Yep.
And that's why we race. And Hayden Deegan,
bro,
in the danger zone.
Bulldog.
Dude, he was just plowing the competition. I thought I saw a cat dozer out there, dude. Just plowing everybody. Dude, he was just, get out of my way, dude. I'm going to the front.
Like, literally, like, it didn't matter if you were his teammate. It didn't matter, like, if you were his girl. It didn't matter what it was, bro. He was going to T-bone you if you didn't get out of the way quick enough.
Lapper, passer, doesn't matter. Get out of my way, son.
Bro. And you know what's funny? He's like, he reminds me of this. This is what he reminds me of. The Beast Mode interview where he's like, there was a Beast Mode interview with
Marshawn Lynch.
Yep. And he's like, you run through a motherfucker's face so many times, they ain't gonna want it no more. You know what I mean? That wasn't perfect, but like, dude, he just keeps on teeing these fools up, and he's just coming again. Oh man, I'm getting lit up for that one, huh? And just he is just beating these guys and T-boning them, and he will not stop.
Yeah, but I love it because like when he stuffed Jordan Smith right after the sand section, after the double section, and then he goes and just cuts down the corner so tight, and then his bikes get stood up again. I'm just like, at least he knows how to defend it, and like he knows, like, he rides that way.
He plays the game so well, dude.
He like does it and then knows how to defend it. Like he's not like one of those like, what's the word? It's like
he's not
oblivious. Yeah, he's not an idiot. He's not oblivious to what he just did. He knows what he just did, and he knows that rider's
you're gonna retaliate.
Yes, and he's gonna just go cut and just make sure his inside foot peg clips the tough block, so there's no chance you can come and tee him up again.
Bro, you gotta be I would be so fucking mad if I had to race Hayden Deegan, dude. Like, I would be so pissed. I would like just ghost ride my bike into him, dude. Like, literally, he's such a little like punk, but he does it well. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what.
I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, but that's one way.
But if you're going to ride like that, that's how you do it, baby.
Yeah, you got to defend. You can't leave the door open.
And two, I can't say it enough. He just keeps on coming.
What do we think about the white chest protector over the jersey?
Bro, I love it. Deegan vibes.
Oh,
Straight
man.
like Papa Deegan, Brian Deegan vibes. We just need spikes. We need foam spikes on his chest pro next week.
I would die laughing.
Would that not be the sickest thing ever?
If he had like an opening ceremonies chest protector and he had spikes on it?
No, foam spikes for the race, bro.
Get out of here. You're ridiculous.
It would be legendary if he did that.
That'd be so whack.
Okay. Another guy who really turned it around, Mosiman.
Bro, just getting better and better and better and better and better.
And it was cool in the press conference. He said that too. He's like, yeah, the plan at the beginning of the season was just kind of start slow and just try to build every weekend. And that's what he's doing.
And he's learning how to learn, is what he said.
Yes. Which is...
I think a lot of people don't realize that you have to teach yourself how to retain information and then use that information. And that's what Chase needs to do. Sexton.
Yes.
He needs to
we need to
keep
be
on
easier
learning.
We need to be easier on our guy Chase. He's having a tough time right now.
Yeah. Well.
I thought it was interesting. What did he say? He's like, what about his teammate again? He's like, yeah, I don't know what happened. I got a bruise on my elbow. You know what I mean? From Deegan or something like that. Did you hear that? But he's like, yeah, you keep letting me lead those laps and get that confidence, and it ain't gonna be good. I like that. That was cool.
That Michael Mosiman who said that?
That was Mosiman. And then Cole Davies had a tough night. It was cool to see him come out that third moto and get it done, especially because how fast he was in the qualifiers.
Yep.
I thought it was a pretty interesting fact. I can't remember where I seen it on Instagram, but Cole Davies has led more laps than any rookie in the record books other than Trey Kennard. He just beat him this weekend.
That's pretty crazy.
Like, the fact was, though, like, as far as they've recorded. So it was like since like 1998 or something, 99.
Yeah.
So it could be somebody before that, but since like 2000 or 99.
They probably didn't even have transponders back
That's
then.
what I mean. Since they started recording records, Cole Davies now has the most laps led by a 250 rookie. That's impressive, dude.
That's really impressive.
And he just looks so effortless doing it. And the thing about Cole is, like, when a guy looks effortless, the potential and the ceiling is unbelievable.
Yes.
Who else are we talking about?
And you know who else is unbelievable?
Who?
Cody Schock.
Yes.
Bro,
Cody Schock.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Jason Wygant to having the ins and outs of every single racer out there.
Yeah.
Like, on the broadcast, literally Ricky Carmichael, Jason Thomas. I think Will had a little bit of piece, like a little story on Cody Schock.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, that type of guy, when he's leading in one of the races, and like for a while, and we know it's just like it's like a whole thing in someone's life, and how big it is for Cody Schock to be leading a race in AMA Supercross. Like, we need to have some stories on him. Like, luckily Jason like took it over for like maybe a lap and a half, and just talked about like the story of Cody Schock breaking his back, you know, racing a privateer Honda. Now he's on this privateer 250. Ricky Carmichael, Jason Thomas need to do their due diligence and making sure they have like a random or like a dark horse story. Like, if Cody Schock does lead again, or like Michael Mosiman, they probably have some stuff on Michael Mosiman, but like Enzo Lopes or like Lux Turner.
Yeah.
If they're on the screen, we need to have stories and like creating fans for these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially a person who's leading one of the races.
Yeah.
I could just tell I know it's a big job, and it's hard to get everybody, and you try to hone in on what you need to do throughout the night as far as an announcer, and you have like 4 or 5 stories, but you need to have that 6th and 7th story
just in case
if that guy is having a phenomenal night. We can showcase what that person's like behind the helmet, what he does in his pastime, what his story is to this point, and how big of a deal it is that he's in this position tonight.
Yep. Straight up. Is there anything else in the 250 you want to talk about?
Dude, what's up with Garrett Marchbanks? Why is he so inconsistent?
Bro, he's getting better. Those last 2 motos, he was ripping. I don't even talk about my boy like that. Marchbanks was on the gas, bro. What's his results in the last 2? Give me something.
And 5th.
Yes. Thank you. That's solid, bro. For Marchbanks, what do you say he had? He says he's got a broken shoulder that popped out that he's still coming back from, and some ribs or something like that.
Oh, is that what he sustained in his practice crash?
Yes. And he's still racing with it.
Oh. Well, then he's doing really good.
Yes, he is. Another guy that's doing really good in 250. Shout out Lux Turner, our boy. What's up, bro? Keep getting them hole shots. I love it.
Sick
Dude.
Was that?
Baby goat Lux Turner, baby. He's coming. He is coming.
Hey, honestly,
he's going to be a force.
When I seen Lux Turner ride and race,
yeah,
he's looking like a kid that I'm hoping that one of these factory 250 teams give a chance.
Come here under my wing, buddy.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me build you up a little bit.
Like, even like a Mitch Payton or like a Star, KTM.
He just needs a little bit of grooming.
Yes.
Little bit.
Why doesn't Rockstar like pick him up and fill in? I mean, he'll probably never leave AEO under contract, but
no, and I think he's got a good thing. I think the team over at AEO is doing good.
No, I think he's doing really good on the AEO. Yep. And I'm saying, like, if he keeps on this direction, there could be some potential phone calls in his future this summer to get maybe something dialed in for next year.
Without a doubt. Let's move on. A Churbis, Big L, Big Dub.
We're not going to state the obvious, right? Because we've already beat that horse.
No, you got to give me a Big L and a Big Dub, and it's not going to be you know who.
Yes. We're not talking about you know who anymore.
Can I start?
Yes.
Big Dub. You know who it's going to, baby?
Who?
Justin Hill.
Let's go.
Rock on, Justin. Fucking sick, dude. Number 1 qualifier. Are you kidding me? Bro, do you know how good that had to have felt?
Bro, I thought it was fake when I checked the results.
That's how good it was, dude. Like watching Justin Hill, like, dude, he was ripping. Like, I mean, we're talking going so fast. Like, bro, at some point, I thought if I was Chase, I'd be like, dude, let me try this fool's bike, see his setup. You know what I mean, though? Like, dude, whatever they got going on at Team Tedder, they got it going on. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yes, Justin Hill is making it work.
Bro, Justin Hill, 5th place overall with a 4.48. What? Bro, that's like, that's legit, dude.
That's legit.
That's like fast.
Like, I'm hoping that like during the weeks, Monday through Friday, he's working on some starts because Justin Hill out front, dude, he was rolling in race 1.
Bro, half a second faster than the rest of the group. Bro, do you realize this is what's so sick about that? He out-qualified Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb, and Ken Roxon, and Justin Cooper. Chase Sexton, he's been the fastest qualifier with Jet and Eli there. And so has Justin Cooper. So you can't tell me that just because a couple guys are out, that he got that. No, sirree. My boy has got real speed that is undoubtable.
Hey, we know he's got the
and
talent.
Put it together in the motos.
Yes, he did.
He was on his worst finish was only 2 spots worse than Cooper Webb's worst finish.
No way.
Yep. Dude, don't take my hype away. Okay.
Big L.
Big L. Juju.
I don't know. I would almost say that's a W for the circumstances.
Okay, it is a W, but it's
you're waffling now.
No, this is why it's a
waffle,
loss.
Waffle.
This is why
waffle.
This is why it's a loss. And it's not that he did it, but that chunk out of him, I really put a damper on the championship. You know? Like it's not that he's like the biggest loser. It's that what he lost is so unfortunate. It's a big loss. It's a big loss for the team. It's a big loss for him. It's so sad because he's been riding so good and he's been doing everything right and he has the speed and sometimes shit happens. Luckily, he's super young and he has so many more chances to get this championship. But you look back on moments, and I think this is going to be one of those moments where it's like he is absolutely ripping, but this is kind of where that little bit of turn went to where Deegan is doing something right. He's got a little momentum, then he took it to a lot of momentum because he got dinged up, and now he's going to go to the East-West shootout where he's still dinged up, and then that could turn into even more, and it's just this snowball effect. But I like Juju too, but I just think that he has a lot of years to go. I don't think this is, he's probably not going to win the championship because of this injury, and that's why it's such a big loss, and it's so unfortunate. But I think he's going to win championships in the future, no doubt.
I think so too.
Big L, Big Dub.
Big Dub. My boy, Cody Shock on the Muck Off Club MX Yamaha.
That's a big dub. That's a huge big
It's
dub.
the biggest dub.
It is. is the biggest dub.
It's the biggest dub of the night.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Let's go, bro.
Dude, for him to come from where he came from and last year breaking his collarbone 2 weeks later and then re-racing and now he's second place.
It is absolutely crazy. And thank you for not taking over my segment.
You're welcome.
Because I chose Cody Shock. You didn't. So shut up.
Dude, I'm just giving you affirmation.
Shh. Okay?
Okay, go.
I can hype up my boy Cody Shock, okay?
Okay, let's see it. Hype him up.
From the Honda 450 days of him just ripping outdoors, we'll even jump back a little bit farther from him just looking hella sketch on 250 and Supercross, just launching himself everywhere, launching himself off the over-under bridge. I remember this guy just flying off the over-under bridge, hanging off the edge of it, lawn darting himself. I'm like, who is that? Oh, that's Cody Shock. God damn. Now my boy is on the podium, got second place, and is just loving life. And on our interview, he's just like, yeah, man, after this, top fives. I'm like, that is exactly where you need to be.
Yeah. When I asked him the question in the interview, what do you expect from yourself for the rest of the season? He said, I just want to do top fives. Do you know how mature and smart that is? That sounds like a kid that has a long-lasting career.
You know what I'm saying? He understands on where he's at and the opportunity that it's in front of him, and he's just got to keep on stacking them.
Stacking them.
All right, big
L.
Big L. Dude, I don't know. Other than Chase Sexton, there ain't no big L, so no big L for me this weekend.
All right. Cool.
What's the next segment?
The next segment is from California Coast Plumbing. Check out the Joe Shimoda interview. We have a very special guest on the line brought to you by California Coast Plumbing. Oh, man, this kid has got the dog in him. He had a little mishap at the beginning of the season, and he's been fighting his way through from Honda Team HRC. Welcome to the show, Joe Shimoda. What's happening, bro?
What's up? I'm doing good. Thanks for having me here.
Heck yeah, we appreciate you being on the show. Dude, so like just starting out, what was going through your mind in San Diego when that pit board hit you in the hand? Like, was that just like the biggest surprise? Because I know if I was racing like and a pit board hit me, I wouldn't even be expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, I know. So I believe it was in Q2, qualifying 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was just doing my lap, and I know, like, I was on my last sprint lap, and unfortunately, pit board hit my finger, and at that moment, it's like I kind of knew, like, you kind of know already, like, when the bone is broken, like, you get that numb and weak feel right up. And I mean, so I knew right away, like, 2 bone, or at least one of them is like broke.
Yeah.
So then I just continue and finish my lap off, and came over to pits and then told my mechanic Ben, like, this is like really broken. I don't know what to do. Like, I kind of didn't have words,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not really like an emotional guy, so I don't really get freaked out on these situations.
Yeah, totally.
But like, I just told Ben, like, I think we should really go back right now and then get checked out and then make a plan, and then so we just left. Like at that moment, I was kind of thinking, like, whatever happens, I'm gonna race it anyway. Just because
that's so gnarly, Joe. Like, no matter what, I don't know if I would have kept racing with 2 broken fingers.
Yeah, well, it's like I only, think about that because, I mean, these past 2-3 years, 250 class been like, a lot of like, it's like a roller coaster,
Yeah.
Somebody be winning two races in a row, and then next week he's gone. So in
Yep.
my head, I'm like, okay, like, I mean, shit happens. So do I give it up? Not really. Like, it's only one round ends, and that came through my head straight, and we got checked out, and then like I had to find a way to tape it up and do customize on my glove, and we went for it.
Well, I will tell you this, like, you gained a lot of respect, I think, from the fans and from the paddock for sure. Cause like everybody was talking about it when it happened. And I talked to multiple people and they're like, dude, Joe broke his finger. Some guy hit him with a pit board, yada, yada, yada. And, is he going to race? Is he not going to race? And, the big thing was like, how is Joe even doing this? And I think you gained a lot of respect from everybody and you gained a lot of fans. And I just want to give you kudos for that. Cause that's gnarly because one, you're racing with a broken finger, but you're doing it at a pretty elite level still. You know what I mean? Like this weekend, I know you're not healed. I mean, I don't know what you can and can't say, but there's no way your fingers are healed by now. And you put up some really good numbers this weekend.
Yeah, to your point, I think if you're gonna race, you really have to be on your game. You can't just go out there and finish 18th, 20th. I wouldn't do that. If I were to do that, I'd just pull off, and then go to hospital. But when we went back to the truck and made plan, I really my hand were so swollen. I literally cut up my pinky on the glove so I can fit my glove in.
Yeah.
Cut up my glove so it was like I could bend it barely, and then I actually wrapped my middle finger and ring finger together so I can use a little bit of a ring finger.
Yeah.
We cut the waffle off of the grip. So the grip was a little smaller.
Yeah.
We all used a sticky grip.
So when you say a sticky grip, did you use like some like sticky tacky stuff to put on the grip, or just the stickiest grip you guys could find?
No, like the current one I use is a pretty sticky one, and then I just kept using that. So and like this weekend, still no grip strength.
Yeah.
Well, my fingers are still fat, so it wouldn't go around my handlebar.
I don't mean to laugh, Joe. It's just so gnarly, dude. Like, you're riding at an elite level with this.
Well, it's like I think you obviously know, but all the motocross guys are tough. But your body can only do so much,
Yeah, for real. Well, let's switch gears a little bit, Joe. Because I know obviously the injury's been a big story for you this season, but I think the bigger story is how well you did at Anaheim, and then two, how good you did on your starts this weekend. Like, take us through that. Like, because last year had to be a really frustrating year for you because we all know how fast you are as a rider, and you got off Team Kawasaki and you were ripping right at the end. And then last year, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not the season that you wanted. And I don't think it's the season that we all expected from you. And then you come out this year and you are firing on all cylinders, and then you come out this weekend, even with a broken hand, and you are putting up 3 pretty top level starts in a row. Joe Shimoda healthy is for sure a championship contender. What for you changed in the offseason?
Honestly, like this year I had less stuff to worry about on the motorcycle setup.
Yeah.
I was able to put, more laps, more good quality days. But the bike itself, I really struggled setting up the bike last year. Felt like I was not even riding like myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, looking back at my data from last year and my mistakes and what I did wrong, right? Like I demoed everything I did, and came out with the best solution I thought I had.
Yeah.
And that's been consistently like better than last year. So I'm like the start if you're kind of on the first couple lap changes, and I didn't have that last year. So no, it's been it's much more fun for me. I feel like I can race with top guys. I feel like I'm riding more like myself.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely are riding more like yourself. But hey, Joe, are you still there? Joe, can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh, there you go. I lost you for a second. One of the things I want to touch on, Joe, is like you talked about, like you were struggling with bike setup. And I think like a lot of amateur kids that I talk to and dads and even at a pro level, like when I first got started, I had a lot of trouble, setting up a bike and communicating with who I had to set up the bike with. And, you talk about you're struggling with your bike setup, but HRC, in my eyes, is one of the people or one of the teams that has the most resources. So like for you, what was the hardest thing to get right? Was it the communication? Was it, the actual parts? Was it the bike feel? Like what was hard for you to get right and I guess communicate to the team?
Yeah, like you said, there's so many reasons to the bike.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't do everything for you.
Yeah.
So like I personally never done like a testing.
Mm-hmm.
Is to choose from, and I just followed that way, So when I went to HRC options, but it's kind of inexperienced doing that, and so I think that just took a longer time for me to get to where I want to be.
Yeah, so you pretty much had almost too many options in a way where you were like, I don't really know what to do. Pro Circuit just set me up with packages, and then I kind of decided which one I wanted, and there was almost so much to choose from. You had to do it yourself a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. I had to learn so many things. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's like one of the biggest things you've learned about bike setup, I guess, now that you've been with the team for the second year now?
Honestly, for me, I think I like balanced bike,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really want to touch from the base setup.
Wow.
Because I think that's just because these people production bikes, they're built for like they're thinking of the whole bike,
Yeah.
and I like the way it feels on the production stuff.
Yeah.
Like some people ride differently and then maybe adjust so much in their way. Like for example, I was using Hunter's setup last year or to start with.
Yeah.
But Hunter himself, I'm a completely different rider.
Yep.
Not just the chassis, not just the suspension, not just how the engine works. Like I think the base setup. Even when I was riding pro circuit bike, I would ride stock 450 and I would love it.
Straight up, huh?
Straight up, I love it. Like maybe a few touch on suspension and engine. I obviously want it faster, but whole balance, the character of the bike. I think I like the stock.
Yeah. Well, let's switch gears again. I wanted to talk to you about this, and I think this is a pretty difficult topic, but we've obviously seen a lot of injuries in Supercross, and you see them at certain tracks more so than others. But I was talking with my brother about it. What do you think as a rider would help kind of limit the injuries? Like, is it a smoother track? Is it a rougher track? Is it prepping it more? Is it slower bikes? Like, it's really hard to pinpoint, but is there something that you've ever specifically thought of?
So, you know what? I really do have my opinion. And I don't know if people would agree with me or not, but I think current track right now, it's getting. I think it's getting easy. In a way, there's so much space in between the jump.
Yeah.
Like, let's say the last obstacle to the corner, like there's so much speed, like so much space.
Yeah.
Like for example, let's say, like I saw the track layout in Tampa, after the Star first corner.
Yep.
There's like a double single or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Like the last jump to the corner, the distance to the corner.
Yeah.
Like I would make that a lot tighter, so it slows everything down, and you have to be precise, not just like the track right now. You can probably ride in outdoor suspension and it still kind of be fine.
Yeah.
I think they can maybe like make the jump a little taller, like a little bit closer. Maybe not necessarily need to be closer, but closer to the turn.
Yeah, like not as. Yeah, and I know what you mean. Not closer to the turn, but just bring the turn closer to the landing of the jump.
Yeah, like it's smooth and easy to ride, but I think Supercross should be a little bit tight and awkward.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be like 3 out of the corner to a freaking quad every single weekend. I think, when the track needs to be precise.
Yeah. I think it does help when you slow it down. You make it a little more peaky, you make it a little taller. And, I was talking to my brother about this, like I said, and he's like, dude, you got to prep the tracks more. You got to make it smoother. But it's like, okay, you make the track smoother and all of a sudden everybody's going Mach 10, and you're going super fast. So yeah, there's not as many mistakes, but when there is a mistake, it's a big mistake.
Yeah, it's huge. Like you see, for example, Anaheim 1, they had a on-off before the finish line.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's not an on-off. That's a quad. Like,
yeah.
It's like everybody has to do that.
Yeah.
And everybody would do it because it's so much speed and so much space.
Yep.
So I personally think I know like they try to probably fill the whole stadium with, and stuff like that, but I think the track can be tighter and a little more technical and just slow it down.
Yeah, it's hard though, right, Joe? Because if you make it tighter and you slow it down, then sometimes you gotta do bigger jumps too, like I guess if you make it tighter out of the corner, like you said, right? So you're just going to have to build a lot more actual obstacles at the end of the day. Because at a certain point too, right? If you don't make the track long enough, then, you made it tighter and shorter, but now you're doing more laps on it, which is going to make it way, way more rough. So
for sure.
I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I want to try to make a difference and get the rider's opinion. I really appreciate it. I don't know what to do. I agree with you on tighter for sure. I guess I don't know how you would do it,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Only for me is the obstacle to the corner is too long.
There you go.
So
all right, Joe. Well, we're gonna wrap this thing up. I got a couple little questions for you. Okay. Fun questions. Cheeseburger or pizza?
A cheeseburger or pizza?
Yep.
I'm a cheeseburger guy, hamburger.
Let's go. Okay, Taco Bell or McDonald's after the race? Or here you go. Tell me a fast food place you're gonna hit instead of one of those.
I mean, my favorite fast food is Raising Cane's.
Oh, let's go. Did you go after the race in Arlington or no? It was right across the street.
No, I didn't, but I mean, I would love to have a couple pieces of fried chicken, and you can get those like a cup of the sauce,
Absolutely, like a whole cup of the sauce.
Get the whole cup of sauce.
I love it. Well, Joe, dude, we really appreciate you being on the show. I wanted to get you on and off pretty quick. We know you got a lot going on, and we hope your hand heals up super, super fast. When's your next round? So we got Daytona next weekend and then Indianapolis after that. When's the next round you race?
Yeah, so I'll have a week off because it's East. So the Indy is going to be my next one.
Oh, because it's an East-West showdown, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you can make up some points. You never know.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. And we have 3 East-West shootouts too.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. It is definitely going to get absolutely psycho coming towards the end with those East-West shootouts. Well, Joe, we really appreciate you being on, and yeah, dude, we'll see you in Indianapolis.
Yeah, see you guys. Thank you.
Heck yeah, peace. All right, we're back. Yeah,
That was a pretty sick interview.
yeah. Joe Shimoda's cool. We had a little bit of little cell phone static. He was driving, but yeah, it was solid. Joe's cool, dude. Joe's like super solid.
Dude, I have this crazy story about Joe. I'm
Hit me.
pretty sure it was Joe. It's kind of blurry. I was practicing at Glen Helen.
Okay.
Joe was a little wee man on a 65.
Yitta guy.
Yeah. Barely knew any English. He was there practicing with his mom. His mom would always take him to practice at Glen Helen.
Yep.
And we always knew because it was like his mom was, there and it was him. So like it was always the same crew and he would ride and stuff.
Yeah.
I was practicing at Glen Helen and I was like, probably 16 or 17 on my 450.
Yeah.
And I remember I turned up to go up Mount St. Helens, the big one. And he's just a little 65 guy going back and forth. And dude, I was just fucking panning it. And he just gets these gnarly swaps and just runs right into me and then falls down on the ground. And I'm like,
my gosh.
God damn it. Just totally took out this 65 kid. And I like went down, went back up, and then I didn't turn around on the track, but I made the loop and I helped him up on his 65 and let him bumps out. But like I remember seeing, I'm pretty sure it's Joe.
Yeah.
But it was a long time ago.
Dude, we're going to have to ask him at the race.
But like, yeah, I felt so bad because he must have been probably 8 or 9 at the time. And it was just him and his mom just trying to practice at Glen Helen. And it wasn't really my fault. I didn't back off. I was like, oh, he's got it. I just was gassing it.
Back off.
I was just hugging. But I could have saved him from launching off the cliff, dude. You never know. Okay.
True.
I was just holding left.
You could have saved Joe Shimoda's life.
Could have been. Okay. I was just holding left and he was just, and just ran right into me. It happens at Glen Helen.
It does.
Go practice there on a Thursday. Shit gets wild.
It does. All right, last segment of the show. X brand does a zebra keep his stripes.
Ooh. Bro.
Do we even bring it up?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
Cooper Webb is the goddamn. He's showing his zebra stripes in the safari right now.
Yeah, but bro, he's had those ones forever. You got to give me somebody else, dog.
Well, then Cody Shock is creating some new stripes right now, and I hope they stick.
And okay, this is a perfect guy. To all you people, to all you listeners out there, okay? And all you kids and moto dads out there. This is why Cody Shock is doing it right. His stripes, he's not trying to put brand new stripes on his body all at one time. He has slowly stacked and colored in his stripes, nice and slow, So he's not going outside the line, and he's taking his time. And he's not trying to get 5 new stripes all at once. He's doing 1 stripe, and then he's like, oh, that looks good. And then he does another stripe. Oh, that one looks good. And that's how you don't set yourself back and you keep the stripes there, is by slowly progressing, riding within your means, and doing your program.
And that, folks, is how Addy picked Cody Shock on this segment of Zebra keeps or loses his stripes. And now it's Tyler's turn.
That's
and
exactly why I picked him. And thank you for taking the words out of my mouth.
And now I'm going to pick my choice for Zebra keeps or loses stripes, and mine is Justin Hill.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm hoping that Justin Hill is just starting to keep his stripes of being the fastest qualifier, because the last time he had this stripe was all the way back in 2018 when he was the fastest qualifier in
2020.
Arlington. Oh, 2020.
2020.
2020, where he was the fastest qualifier in Arlington as well. So if we could keep this trend and keep this stripe, I think we could see some podiums from Justin Hill throughout the season, because we're just getting to the halfway point of the Monster Energy Supercross, and it is going to be a great one.
The SMX World Championship and round 7 of Monster Energy AMA Supercross in Arlington. That's what we're supposed to say.
Holy mouthful.
Yes. But, Ty, that's your pick. How does he do that? How does he keep doing it, staying safe, still being the fastest guy? How does Justin Hill continue to make this progress?
Well,
What's your opinion?
I'm going to state some obvious.
Please.
Stay healthy.
Bro.
We got to get there to do it.
Okay, but how do you stay healthy?
Being smart.
Okay, what's being smart? What are things he has to avoid?
Lappers.
What else? Come on, dude. Give me some in-depth analysis. We're supposed to be professionals.
Bro, you have to state the obvious, because the obvious is out there, and sometimes it slaps you in the face like a twisted tea.
I know. Bro, people last week were just annihilating us for this obvious statement of like Chase has to be in the race. And then look what happens.
I'm just saying, like, you want me to give you some in-depth analysis on Justin Hill?
Please, baby Jesus, that's why we're at this show.
Well, here you go. Justin Hill, if he just goes out there and goes first in his qualifier again in Daytona, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If he goes first again, just act like you belong. Fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Just fake it till you make it. Don't give a fuck about anybody else. There's not really an in-depth analysis because I'm not Justin Hill.
Yeah. I mean, I got my opinion, but I'm very opinionated.
Oh my God, you're opinionated, dude.
I am.
Well, let's hear it.
Dude, you know what he needs to do?
Yeah.
Hit that golf simulator out front of his thing. No, but in all reality, for Justin Hill, don't worry about being fastest qualifier. That's really what he has to do, in my opinion. If fastest qualifier comes again, sweet. Cool. Just go out there, and I know you qualified fastest. I know now you have this expectation of like, I'm the fastest guy now, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have that expectation set. Now you've risen to that bar. But it's the same thing that Cody Shock said. Yeah, I did get a second place, but my goal is still top 5. Mm-hmm. You can't just go one weekend, you have this lights out ride and you get fastest qualifier. And then now just because you did it once, now that's what you're pushing for. And sometimes you're not going to feel your best. Do I think Justin Hill can do fastest qualifier again at some point? Yes, I do believe that. Do I feel like Justin Hill is ready to be fastest qualifier every week? Absolutely not. Not yet. And I think if he pushes that limit too much every week and he expects that out of himself every week, that's a recipe for crashing and getting hurt once again. So with everything that happened, I think it's a huge, obviously it's a big win. That's the big win that I gave him. But for Justin Hill, go out there, do you. If you qualify 8th at Daytona, brush it off. Oh, well, didn't feel that great. Go out there, get another good start, act like you belong, let the race play out. Because with what we know about Monster Energy Supercross, who knows who's going to wad up? Who knows who's going to do this? If you put yourself in the front of that race, no matter where you qualified, what you do, you have an opportunity to have a great weekend. That's what he has to do. Focus on getting good starts. And if fastest qualifier comes again, awesome. If it doesn't, do not worry about it whatsoever.
Well, and to add on that point, I think he's to a certain point in his life and at an old enough age where he said that. He's like, the first qualifying practice, I was just, I was messing up here and there. I didn't really get a clean lap. And it just all came together on that final qualifier. And that's what the result was of getting, putting that lap together, putting your segment times together was that fastest qualifier. And dude, Justin Hill is talented. And I think the key for Justin, yes, obviously, but the key for some riders, Justin Hill specifically, is to have fun and just be loose. Like everybody is going to be texting Justin Hill this week and be like, oh, dude, I can see a podium coming. You're right there. If you just get a start, you're going to be up there, blah, 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 blah. He needs to block all that out. Shut the phone off. Don't look at social media. Just do what you have been doing during the week because obviously it's working. The Tedder program is phenomenal. He just got the fastest qualifier. Do not change anything right now when you're doing good and we can see your progression. Stay to yourself, stay to your program because it's working. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, have fun at Daytona, enjoy the Daytona Supercross, enjoy the rough track, have fun out there, jump off the kickers, make those unique lines. Let's see what Justin Hill is made of and just worry about Justin Hill.
Yep. Okay. Well, this is what I want to end the show with. You ready? Put your hands out. Okay. Wiggle your fingers. Okay. And repeat after me. Okay. Positive vibes for Chase Sexton.
Positive
vibes for Chase Sexton. Positive vibes for Chase Sexton. Everybody.
Positive vibes for Chase Sexton. Positive vibes for Chase Sexton. Positive vibes for Chase Sexton.
Let's go, Chase! Daytona, you're going to win, bro. We know it. Let's go, baby. Track Talkers.
Don't try too hard.
Yeah.
But try enough.
Yep. We got you. We're behind you, Chase. Let's go. Track Talkers Season 2. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Thank you guys for all your comments, all your input. We really appreciate it. We take it to heart. We try to do the best job that we can with the show and with the thumbnails. Thank you guys for watching once again, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Later.